Hello friends, it's Sherry from Turquoise Dreaming. How you doing today? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me, and I'm here for Roxy Creations second challenge, number 2 week. She's doing the challenge where Rachel is doing the challenge where you do a 1 tag week, or she's challenging herself, she said, and we can join in. So I did the first one already, and so I'm on number 2, which is all about painting. She said it was she wanted to paint more in 2021, and so I am up for a challenge. I'm not a painter, but I'm going to show you what I kind of am doing today to practice painting or to do the challenge of painting. So I have a bunch of fun stuff here. Hopefully it'll turn out nice, but these are some, during the first challenge I made these tags. There are different shapes of, you can see they're all different shapes, and they're made with my book pages, which this particular book page was from my vintage atlas, and it was the index pages, and I have backed them with some, it's just 1 layer book page backed with painter's masking paper so that I can have writing space on the back, okay, and use some book pages. This one right here I'm experimenting with. I put a layer of the white napkin. I used some napkin in one of my challenges on the tags, and cut out, the pretty flowers, and then you have that backing, the white backing. So I had to sit in here, and I was like, I really want to see how this looks over, some book page. You can see it just kind of puts a light layer of white over it, and you can still see through it. And I want to see how the paint does on here also, like, is it going to soak it up? Is it just going to be like it's not there? What's it going to do? So I have that. So I have 5 tags here, and I'm not sure how many will get done. We're not in a rush, but Rachel's challenge is, she said like in her second one, she said she wasn't rushing. So it's not a rush, but she was trying to see how many she could get done in 45 minutes, and I have about 30 minutes. So I prepared, I used my 15 minutes from the 45 minutes to prepare. So I have all my goodies out here that I'm using or might use today. I didn't buy anything special. I'm just using what I have. So I have some of these paints that I've used for other projects. I pulled these little paints out. I have my paintbrush markers here. I have some water. This is my paintbrush. I told you I didn't buy, I was tempted to buy a pack of paintbrushes, but I didn't. I have 1 paintbrush. I have some markers, Sharpies, different colors, and I have some Q-tips. So as I was thinking about this challenge, I was thinking about my previous painting experience, which is minimal, and I thought, well, what did I do in the past? I have painted some things that turned out really nice. What did I do? Trying to remember it because it's been a while. So what I did, I remember, I made some painting papers in the last year. So I pulled out, I have 2 caps here from the little paints I just showed you that I kept for painting. And I have a jar of Q-tips. So that's what I'm going to do here to start out. I'm going to grab a Q-tip and use 1 Q-tip to start, or maybe a few. Let me grab a few because, different colors, you might need different, a few different Q-tips. And I'm going to, let's see what colors I want to use. Here's my palette. It's just a little plate that I pulled out from an old plate. It has a chip in it. I pulled out, I don't know what this is made out of, melamine or something, but I figured I could wash this off when I'm done. So let's see, what colors do we want to do? Let's start with, I'm going to see if we can do some flowers. So let's start with, let's see, I haven't even opened these paints. You know what? Let me shake them up a little bit. I turned them upside down so that they would drain to the lid, but I just now thought, I probably should have shooken them up. That kind of, these paints sometimes maybe separate a little bit. So there's some green, and I think that's a really pretty green for flowers. I already got some on my fingers. Here's a pretty pink. Let's just put a bunch of colors on here and see what we use. I'm going to try to put a smaller amount because I don't want to waste it, and we're probably not going to use very much paint. So that one's got a string on it. I have paper covering here my space so that I don't get my little mat here all painty. And sometimes it's fun to see what you end up with. If you end up with color all over your paper, then you could maybe even use that in a future project. So that's some orange. I want to get some of this yellow here too. And then we'll get started painting. I think I gotta have yellow. I think I gotta have a lot of yellow. Okay, so that's what we're going to start with, and if we need more, we'll get it. So that's my little palette to start with. Let's start with the branch of a flower. So I'm going to take my little, let me move these out of the way since we're not using these first. We'll move that over there and get my little paints over here. So I'm going to start with a paint, and I didn't practice or anything. I'm just going from memory from what I've done in the past. So I'm just using a Q-tip, and I'm going to paint a branch here. And why am I using a Q-tip? Because I am kind of intimidated by, this is not a good paintbrush for one thing, and I think that this will make my, I don't think this is going to do what I want to do. I think it will be easier to draw. For me, it's easier to draw with something like this, something that's not an actual paintbrush. So, because I'm not, I don't consider myself a paint artist, you know what I mean? So there is a branch. Now I've got a thick part down here. I'm going to spread that out. And let's make some leaves. So this is a simple, for me, this is what I have to do to paint. Actually paint something. There's a leaf. I'm going to get a little bit more paint and paint another leaf over here. Let's see. Let me see here. Let me turn it around so I can get a good angle. But just, I wanted to go ahead and do something like this to show you, if you're, started out with Rachel's challenge, and you're like, oh, I don't paint, I can't do that one. Well, I wanted to show you that you can do it. You know what I mean? Even if you're not like a paint artist or a painter, you can do it. So there's my green on that side. I'm going to turn it over actually and use this side for my flower. So this is what I've done in the past for flowers. Let's see. I kind of want to make, I wish I had some white, but white wouldn't show up there. Anyway, so let's use the yellow. So there's a couple ways I've done flowers in the past. This particular flower, I think I'm going to do in one way, and then we'll do another tag with another way to make flowers with a Q-tip. So if I remember right, I think I used a brush once before, but I'm going to try to do it with a Q-tip, just with kind of like 2 or 3 strokes, making little, like kind of like a daisy. So just like this. See that? So those are the petals of our flowers, kind of like the same as the leaf. Stroke. And of course, they don't have to be perfect or anything, And so yeah, just a little kind of like 2 strokes, 1 and 2. And again, 1 and 2. And let's make a couple more there at the bottom here by our branch. 1 and 2. And I really like how you can see the book page through it. I think that's neat too. 1 and 2. Okay. Let's make one more up here going off the page. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that down because I've got 2 colors on there and I need another color, and I want to put something in the center, and I actually want to, this paint does dry pretty fast, but I want to put another paint in the middle there, another color, but I don't want it to mix with my yellow really. But I can see that's starting to dry, so I think it might be okay. I want to get some orange on here. And let's see, what will I do? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I was thinking of making a big circle, but let's do this. Let's make little dots in the middle, like, a real flower sometimes has little dots in the middle for their center. So let's make little dots with our Q-tip. See how these come out. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. It's kind of picking up some of the yellow. See, I said it needed to dry a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to dip it back in the orange. and we need some more color on there. Okay, so I'm going to not press down so hard, and just, we're going to have to, okay, so it's not making dots, but it's making, I think it's really, really nice. It's making a really nice center. So there's our little simple daisy on this tag. I think it's pretty cute. I don't want to overdo it, but I think I'm going to leave that to dry. We could put grass, like if you're doing this, you could put some grass with your green, just some little strokes down here. You could put a little border around with some dots, or a little kind of, you know, we might do that, make a little border. What color would we want our border? That's a good question. Let's make our border, since we don't have very much orange on here. I kind of want it thin though. See, I looked for toothpicks too. You can paint with toothpicks, but I don't have any. I couldn't find my toothpicks. I'm going to turn it over because this is a little squished down now from using it. I'm going to turn it over and see. I don't want to ruin this, but I kind of want to make a little border around, kind of a wiggly line. Let's just see how that turns out. And see, I missed a spot there, but I'm going to go back and get that in a minute. Okay, a little bit more paint there. Okay, let's make a border on the other side. Now, Rachel did her, I know she did hers with a paintbrush, and she, that's more of a scallop on that side. She also used hers kind of as a background, her painting. She painted some leaves and things. So I'm even going to do it up here, right through the flower if I can. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to like overdo it. So this one's my orange Q-tip. So there we go. I'm going to leave it like that. I think that's pretty cute, and let it dry. I hope you like it. So that's one. Let's try that one with a napkin on it and see what that does and how that soaks up the paint, if it does. And I think it might, but you know, it just seems like it would. So let's make a background maybe with some of our, just so we can use all of our little painting tools here, except for maybe the paintbrush in this video. So I'm going to start off with, I've got two. So that means I can do two colors. So let's see, we haven't used the pink yet. All I do is take it and dip it in the paint. So let's get paint. I get paint all over the rim of the little cap. And then you just kind of press it down on your surface and make little circles. And you can, let's go all over first with the, see, I've got paint right there. I don't want to get it underneath. With the pink, and then we'll do some interlocking circles. So this is kind of like the way I like to paint without a paintbrush. So there's the pink. Let's see what color would look good. Any of these colors would look good with the pink, but I think I'm going to go with the green. And we can do all the colors. Well, you can do more colors. It's just that I don't have any more caps unless I want to take one off mine. So I'm going to do an interlocking one here. And that's what I mean by interlocking. It's overlapping, I guess I should say. And let me do them all overlapping. So one there, one there, and one here. Is that enough? I think I need something over here. So let me get the pink again and put a pink here and another green like right there. So this makes, you can leave it like this, or you can add to it. Okay, let's see. I think I need another pink up here. Okay, and another green right there. So I can let this dry and then come back and maybe put some words on here or something. I think I'm going to use this as a background. Okay. And so I'll let it dry, and I won't be able to do anything with it in this video. But wouldn't it look cool with maybe even some rubber stamping? You could put a butterfly on here. You could put some words or just a word. You can add toppers to these, to both of these. And here's our flower and this one. So now I want to make another flower for you and show you a flower with the another kind of flower with the Q-tips. Let's do a little one here. So this is just a little one. And I'm going to, let's see, we've used all the colors that I have out here, but I have a lot left. So let's do a orange flower. Well, let's make a little, I'm trying to think if I want to make a bunch of little flowers, or let's make a bunch of little flowers on this one. That would be kind of cool, like a flower power 70s kind of look to it. Center is going to be, let's make our center yellow this time. And they can be both. So let's do both. I think that'll be pretty, not to make them all the same. So let's make a couple of yellow centered, or a few yellow centered flowers here. And these are going to be really simple again. So that's yellow. I'm going to grab my orange Q-tip and make some orange petals around our little, so these are just going to be little round flowers. So you just make little dots around your center of your flower. Easy, right? But fun. And they come out so cute. Look. Isn't that adorable? So let's make a couple more here. So if you are afraid of painting, I hope this takes your fear out of your painting. I know it's simple, and probably you're thinking, wow, a child could do that. Yes, they could. But, you know, like I said, don't consider myself a painting expert. My brother is. My brother can think of anything in his head and paint it on a canvas or whatever, anything, the wall. Okay, so see, you can even look here at these different flowers. I didn't mean to do them different, but see how my petals are spaced out? They're all kind of like different. This one has them closer. So let's make some, I was thinking make some with different color, different colors, so they're not all the same. So let's do like the opposite, orange center with yellow petals on here too. So let's get our orange center. Well, I'm gonna get that Q-tip, my orange Q-tip. Make our centers, a couple different centers here. Okay, now these are gonna have the yellow petals. So let's see how we do with this. I got a lot of paint on there, so I think I might turn this over because the bottom is a little mushed. Well, they're coming out all right. I wasn't sure if they'd come out round or not, but they're doing all right. So there's a yellow one. I'm going to try to space these petals out a little bit more on this one. So cute, right? And you can put little green stems on here and leaves if you want, or just do, one big one. It's just that the Q-tip is small, so that's why I did a little, a few bigger ones. Okay, so those two are kind of close together. Okay, let's do this to add something to here. I think I'd like to make some dotty, like a dotty background. So let's take our green and make a dotty background. So what do I mean by that? Dotty or spotty. We're just going to make some spots around here. All over kind of spots. It just looked like it needed something more. So why not have a polka dot background? Since we're having polka dot kind of flowers. And you can make a border like this too. You know, just do a dotty border or spotty polka dot border around. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to call that one done. Pretty cute. Okay. Now, what else do I want to do? Let's try one. So, again, let me review the, for a second, because this was the napkin one. And you can see that it just acted, it didn't soak up my paints. I wanted to make sure it didn't soak it up and, you know, spread it. And it really didn't. Just a review on that one, because I didn't really say anything about that when I did it. Okay, so I kind of would like to use my paintbrush markers here. And maybe a rubber stamp. I've got a butterfly here. And I forgot to grab my stamp pad, so let me grab that. I'm just wondering how, you know, this is going to be an outline, so let's just try it. You know, this is a bit of an experiment for me too. I haven't practiced or anything before the video. I kind of want to see, will this look, will it come out? Because we've got all this, you know, background text here. Huh, okay. And see, I'm going to paint on here, I think. So let's do, I'm trying to think, 2 butterflies, which way? Maybe I'll just do one to start and do something else. I've got word stamps here. Sorry, I'm getting in the camera. So what color do we want to make? So these are paintbrush markers. I use these in my December daily, if you saw that. Getting a little bit of paint on my back here. Let me see if I can get that off. Nope. Let me get it off here. That's dry now. Okay, so let's do some different colors. Let's do, I've got blue. Let's do some pink and some bright kind of orange maybe. What color is a butterfly? I guess a butterfly can be any color you want when you're painting it. Let's start with this orange and see how that does. Let's do every other section here. We'll just make him a really colorful butterfly. So this is I figured this is another way to paint. If you have some paintbrush markers, of course, you can use those to paint too. And that's kind of why I got these, I think, because I'm not a painter, but I figured these are ready to go. They have different colors in them, kind of like Sharpies that I have here, but they have this paintbrush type of tip on it. Okay. So we've got some stripes here. And let's put some pink in between. Like I said, you can use whatever colors you like, but I just am making this a very colorful butterfly. And I probably won't be able to finish this whole thing on video, but we'll see what we can get done for this one, because this is what you can see. This takes a little bit more time to paint all the little sections. Let's see, I think I need another color on here. I'm just trying to think, what color do I want? Kind of a base here on this big section. I'm going to put blue, I guess. Yeah, I like that. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a blue butterfly, have I? but now you have seen one. Okay, so I'm just trying to see where my lines are too. Let's do this whole section here in blue. And then add a little bit more of my other colors. Okay, so a little bit more pink here, I think would look good, so we don't get too mishmash with our colors. And so we've got pink there, pink over here. I think that's just about finished. I think that'd be just about. So you can, just in case you can't see it on camera, you can see through the paints. You can see the text a little bit, but it covers it up enough so you can see your butterfly, which is what I was wondering. You know, when I put the stamp down, I was like, am I going to be able to see this butterfly over the words? You know what I mean? And you can. You can. Okay. So I think that's pretty cool. All right. I think I need a little bit more blue here in the middle, right here. And I see that this is making it a little darker too, which is, you know, good to know. If you want it to stand out a little more, just put a second coat on. So let's do that, because I do want it to stand out as far as from the words. So I think that's good. I think I'm going to leave it. Let me fill in the white. I got a little bit of white here on my colors around the edges of where I'm painting in the different sections there. Okay, so that is my butterfly. Now, what else do I want to do to this? I think I have a few more minutes here to finish this off. Let's bring out the blue. Let's use our blue paint. Do I have blue paint? Blue, pink, or I guess I could use pink. I already have. I don't want to get out more pink because I don't want to waste this. So let's use our pink here. See if we can use up some of this before the video is over. I'm going to spread these out in case I want to put a different color in between. I'm going to make a dotted border like I mentioned in the last one. So let's just spread these dots out, and then I might put like orange in between and use up some of this paint here I have. These are probably about an inch or so apart. Using pink around for the border. And then again, I can put another something else here, a word, another kind of like design of something, like a heart, or, you know, something like that. Let's see, pink, pink, pink. Trying to remember what color I'm dipping in here. Okay, so there's my pink. I think that looks nice, and it really adds a lot. So a little orange to go with the orange in that. So little orange dots in between my pink dots. And I do like colors, so if you don't mind all the colors here, but I do like color. I like neutral and color, you know what I mean? I like to do neutral things, and I like to do colored things, so. All right, so you can see this comes out pretty cute. I just started with a rubber stamp, added to it. And let's see, we need one more dot right there. Okay, so that made a cute border, right? And if I put a word on here later, I probably would put something solid on there to contrast all the paint. So something that I cut out of something, or, you know, something like that. A solid piece of paper is what I'm saying. So let's just finish up here and show you what we do. I have one more, but I don't want to run out of time on my video here. So let's just show you what I did for my number 2 week of Roxy's weekly challenge, and that's Rachel at Roxy Creations. If you haven't joined in, you may join in. She says anyone can join in, and just start doing it. So that's what we did. These 4 painty tags. I'm going to call them painty tags because that's what they are. And these are my painty techniques, not using a paintbrush. So I hope you enjoyed and maybe gave you some inspiration and ideas. And thanks for watching today. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day and happy crafting.